Hey guys, Benji here. Wanted to do a video of the week. This one's a little different because this is a question that I was given by a buddy of mine, which I thought was good. We ended up talking about it at our Tuesday golf league not league, our Tuesday golf group that we do, where we go to Owl's Bar and Grill every Tuesday after golf every Tuesday. And one of my buddies just asked, he's like, why do you want to why do you want to travel? Like, why do you want to get away from the United States and go? And it's funny because most of the guys thought that that was a weird question, but a couple of them agreed. Like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And the other ones were like, oh my God, I would love to do that. So I'm going to give my answer for that as to kind of what I said there, but maybe go into a little bit more depth here. But for me, it's kind of simple. For one, just as a if anybody that knows me knows that I like change, right? I can never just be happy with status quo very often. So whether that's in business or other things. Um, and so for one, I've been living in America for 51, 52 years. And so it makes me think like, hey, it's time to go somewhere else. Let's do that. Now that so many times you are limited by your finances, but now that maybe finances are in a different spot as I'm 50 and I've had some time to save money and do the things that you're supposed to do, you can make different decisions. And so that would be answer one is why are you doing this? Because, well, I've been here a long time and let's go see what else there is. Two, I do just want to see all these other cultures and see these other places and see how people live. Like, I'm not much for um, boring sightseeing, right? When I say boring sightseeing, I'm like um, going into a random church, going in, seeing, not that I don't want to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but I could give that up. Um, I like seeing what people are like in town at night over dinners, having drinks, at a festival, in the afternoon, at the farmer's market on a Sunday morning, and all those kind of things. I like that and seeing how other people live and interact with everybody. And so that just interests me. I just find it, I like it. I mean, you can do that in America too, right? I mean, go out in Kansas City on a Saturday morning and have people, watch people walking around. There's not a whole lot of walking around because you kind of got to drive there, but versus going to New York where everybody is walking around and going to get breakfast and brunch and grab a coffee and do a workout and all those kind of things. But I think doing it in all these cultures that I don't think there's going to be a big culture shock when we visit the UK or Ireland, maybe even Australia. Um, but I think going to, um, Europe, for one, I think will be, places where people don't speak English or where you need to learn a little bit of French or a little bit of Portuguese or a little bit of, you know, Croatian to get around, to be able to communicate. So that interests me too. Number three, learning new things, learning new languages. I love that. I'm learning French right now. Here shortly, um, we'll start learning Spanish as we head to Portugal and Spain and Mexico and some of the South American countries. So we're going to learn Spanish. So that interests me. Um, but I, I think it's probably less of like I think the number one reason. I'm sorry, I'm just putting my thoughts together here. I think the number one reason is that I wonder if the United States is as good as we are told our entire life, right? My guess is that it's not, right? If we look at the stats of it, we're not leaders in education of our kids. We're not leaders in healthcare outcomes. We're not leaders in, you know, just life expectancy, right? We're low. The other countries are 10 years on average past us. So our food production is, you know, it's preservative filled and who knows what else filled in ours. And I think some of these other countries are still poorer countries than ours. There's still food is coming from a farmer who goes and sells it at a farmer's market, or who a fisherman that catches it and he sells it that morning, kind of fish, versus in America, when you want salmon, it's, you know, prepackaged, it's frozen, and who knows where it comes from. It might say Alaskan king crab legs or Alaskan salmon or something, but who knows how long that's been put in preservatives. Or, you know, I mean, you can watch documentaries, you know, salmon injected with pink to make it look pink, and so it looks fresher, and, you know, all these kind of things. And so, are there better ways to live, right? Are there other countries and other cultures that are going, man, yeah, I know they say America's great, but I don't want to live there. Or I visited there and whew, man, we didn't feel very good when we left. You know, the food, it tastes great, but man, I don't know if it's very good for you. So there's a lot of that, of wondering, hey, um, are we going to go out there and find that every place else is better? And every place else isn't going to be better. But I think there's going to be a lot that we go, yeah, I like how they do it better. I like how they do this or that better. I like how this country does this, or I like how this area does this. And I'm not saying I'm going to travel and I'm never going to come back, because that's never going to be the case. But could I get to a point where I go, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay here. I think I'm going to um, pick a country. I think I'm going to go to France, and and I like it here, and it's a little slower, and it's a little more laid back, and I feel better, and the food I think is fresher, and yeah, it's a better way of life for me. And I'm not to the point, or I am to the point that I'm not concerned about jobs, right? So yeah, I mean, if I still had to work, you know, we've luckily have enough money to be able to retire. If I still had to work, I don't know if you know, Cambodia would be as attractive to me as it is if you're just like, hey, all I want to do when I'm in Thailand or Vietnam or somewhere is I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna get a massage, you know, for $3, and I'm gonna get a coffee for 50 cents, and I'm gonna have lunch for $2, and yeah, that sounds nice. I'm gonna go to the beach and I'm gonna relax and I'm gonna go canoeing and hiking, and that sounds great. Now, if I had to go to Thailand and go to work, I don't know if that would be so. I'm at a different point in my life where I could make some maybe different decisions, but I also think it wouldn't surprise me if we came across a country and said, "Wow, this is really good, and this is how living should be, and I can't believe more people don't live here." And believe me, I've watched umpteen hours of YouTube videos of people, and people that are have done the same thing that we're getting ready to do, and that's what happens to them. They go, man, yeah, just didn't I didn't ever leave, so I didn't know how other people were living, and man, we're not doing it right. We're really good at making money, but as soon as you make enough money and you save enough money, you should leave, because everybody else is living better. Is mostly the through line of all of these videos and all these couples and or single people or whoever that leave and don't come back to the United States. They're like, whoa, yeah, man, I thought we were the greatest. I thought we were number one. We're not. No, we are good at making cash. After that, man, we're bad at the rest. We're bad at healthcare. We're bad at education. We're bad at air quality. We're bad at water quality. I mean, there's lots of things statistically we can look at and go, man, we're just not that good anymore. And other countries put my priority to, is all it is. We have this is sounding very political, but we have a huge priority for military, right? So we spend a lot of money on that. And a lot of other countries go, yeah, we don't really have a military, or our military is nowhere near that, right? I mean, we're spending close to $1 trillion a year, right? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, we're spending, I mean, last I looked, it's like $900 billion a year on, just think what you could do with that in a country. In a country the size of Spain, right? That is, half the size of Texas, right? And they don't spend that kind of money. So yeah, soapbox. Let me hop off, but there's all those reasons, and I think they all kind of matter and fit into the puzzle of why I want to do this and why we want to go see. For one, it's going to be fun, right? We want to travel, and we want to go, have coffee in Turkey and eat a baguette with some incredible butter and some incredible cheeses in France, and we want to go have a Guinness in Ireland, and we want to have, eat ramen noodles and pho in Thailand and Vietnam, and yeah, there's a lot of that stuff's going to be fun, and going to sporting events in other countries, and seeing what it's like to go to a soccer game in Barcelona, and all the things in life. That'll be fun, but those other things matter too, just as far as like, hey, it's time for something new. Hey, what if we like it better? What if we find out that all these other places are like a little slower, a little easier, a little more relaxing, better for your stress level, better for better food, closer to where that food was made to where it's sold. But there's just a lot of things. And then the cultures of everything, right? Like when I say I don't really love sightseeing, that doesn't mean I can't wait to go to the Louvre, right, in Paris. Because I want to go there. And people are like, you'll never see it in a day. And I think, well, good, because I'm going to be there for 90 days. So I might go to the Louvre 5 days so that I can see it all. I want to take all that in. I want to go see all the things that I want to see. And I don't know what those are right now, right? I might find out that I can't get enough of churches, of Gothic churches. But I just want the next adventure, I think is what I want. I think I've been working since I was 23, we'll call it, after college. Of course, you have part-time jobs and stuff before that, but you work and I've been doing that for 27, 28 years. Let's call it 30 years. And that's a big chunk. I feel like that's plenty. And so, right, I said to Jen that I had heard this the other day in a poem that a guy was reading. It wasn't really a poem, but kind of. That life is just like the seasons, right? And that's not a new idea. Is that spring, you're born and you're young, and they were talking about life in 25-year segments. Spring is 0 to 25, and it's fun and it's full of life, and you're growing and you're learning and you're doing all this stuff. And then at 25, you get to summer, and summer is hot and heavy and it's busy, and it's kids, it's buying a house, it's buying the next house, it's buying cars, it's getting kids off to college, it's work, right? It's a little hot. It's a little, spring is great because the weather is awesome and it's cool but it's getting warmer and it's fun. But summer is hot and heavy and it's hard. And so that's 25 to 50. And now 50 to 75, he was considering the best season. He's like, it's my favorite season. Autumn is by far, it's the prettiest, the weather, it gets cooler. He was a sports fan. He was like, it's college football, it's pro football, it's all these things that are, it's just a great time of year of coffees and sitting around with friends and family around a fire maybe in the evening. And that's what 50 to 75 was to him, was what he was saying. He was older, I think he was 85 or 87 years old, that was talking about this and writing this. And I'm butchering it, by the way, but this is what I took from it. And so he said autumn was his favorite, right? Because he did work hard, and because I think he was a doctor, but he said at 53 or 54, he stopped working so hard, right? And he retired, and they went and traveled, and he just said it was the best. It was the best season of his life. Autumn was the best season of his life. Was those years of like traveling and seeing new things, and then they ended up settling down in Madrid, Spain, and because they just loved the slow pace, and then of course there's winter where things start to get cold and it gets you're cooped up and that's the phase of life he was in now. He's like, I can't go out. I'm not young enough to go travel anymore. I'm I'm tired. I'm bones are creaky and muscles are sore and so the purpose of his writing was to take advantage of autumn because everybody takes advantage of spring was his point was that 0 to 25, man, that's just fun. It's playing, it's sleepovers, it's getting dirty, it's swimming, it's all the adventures that a person can get in. It's when you're 20 and 22 and making bad decisions and dating people, and trying out new things. And then that's great. But then summer is hard, right? It's work, right? Having kids is nothing but work. It's incredible. He did make that point too. Is like the best part about autumn is that my kids are grown and they're healthy and they're having their families, and so now I have grandkids that I get to see, but I also get to hand back to them, and I and I go sit on the couch and I rest and I have a coffee and I do all these things. So it was just interesting to see, but those are kind of the reasons why I think what I do and why we want to go. So that was a long video as to why I want to go travel, but those are kind of my reasons. So that's what I got. See ya.